I've had a few people suggest that there are some things wrong with Dark Reef that I should probably look at fixing. So this is kind of an overview of everything that I think is wrong with it. And we're going to start with this, the way that I'm doing all the introductory text, storyline and stuff. I felt like the user may not understand enough, so I put a whole lot of text at the beginning of the game. That's stupid. I was trying to shoot for low-end machines as a target audience, and so I cut out all of the extra scenery items in the intro part of the game, making it extremely dull looking. Again, that was a problem. The initial bad guy that you run into, I was trying to use one of the simpler bad guys to fix, but I ended up creating one that basically you feel sorry for because he just sits there like a tiny little sea cow, and you just pelt him with rocks and garbage until he dies, and then, you know, you feel bad about it. Here's one we're just going to shoot him in the back. That's good. That's heroic. So we have this really cool arm that we never actually use. That's what I just showed off there. As you can see, these graphics are very basic. One of the reasons for that is that while I was testing this, I was testing it on a pretty low-end system. And I kept thinking, well, if the low-end system, no one can play it, that's terrible. So then here's an example of one set of bad guys. These are kind of like pill bugs that stream out of a hole, and I was extremely proud of myself for having come up with this really awesome terrain tracking engine so that these bad guys can stream in mass numbers and you can get hundreds of them on the screen. But it turns out it's just extremely boring. And then here's the other bad guy. He basically bobs. It's like a little sea thing, but he bobs, and so it's kind of difficult to know if you've actually hit him or not. He hides behind things. There he is, bobbing again. He's going to go up and down. We'll shoot him a few times. When he shoots, when you hit him, you get the black ink. Yeah, okay, there we go. Oh, there's another one. Okay, so they're really cool looking up close, but you never get to get up close because once you get even close to them, they shock you and kill you. So then, towards the end of the first level, I have this giant mass of nothing, just grass, which looks really cool, but it doesn't push the storyline along. And then, due to a timing issue, that astronaut, that Aquanaut guy you see there, walking by, it looks like an astronaut outfit. He is supposed to walk up to the computer and interact with it, but because of this timing issue, he basically walks way too fast, looping past the computer. His turn radius isn't sharp enough to hit the computer, so he sits there and just spins around the station, endlessly trying to get to that computer system, which will never actually happen, and therefore the end of this level never actually happens on faster machines. Yeah. So if you have a really nice computer, you have a really crappy experience playing this game. That has to change. There he is walking through the computer again. So this is just a fairly minor set of tweaks. All I did was I added a ton of really nice looking underwater rocks and other equipment. I didn't change the story at all. I didn't change anything else. I just changed the look here. And already it's a 1,000 times better. I still have some issues with lighting. I need to adjust the way that lights work underwater so it feels more realistic, like it's underwater. I need more bubbles in the scene. I really need to get rid of this first set of enemies and replace them with something that you don't feel sorry for. These halos that are cast around the lights are interfering with the other shaders and making it difficult to see what you're doing. Here we are. This is the exact same setup basically as the previous one. The only difference is that this is better looking graphics on the walls and the rocks. I don't have better looking graphics on the ground. There's a really cool thing for Unity called RTP, the relief train. It's a relief. It's a terrain tool that lets you create really high resolution terrains. And I've used that for that one demo that's online right now, the latest demo with the live camera. That's what gives it the higher resolution looking terrain on the ground. So here, this is going to be part of the plot. You have a dead guy, but due to the fact that you're in the submarine and the camera's behind the submarine, you can't even see the dead guy. Barely. You can barely see it. If you have a really big screen, you can see the dead guy. So then we've got this thing here. Notice how there's no actual talking? It's because I was I wanted to have several different kind of voices in the game, but I didn't want it all just to be me recording it, and I need to actually either hire some voice actors or have some friends of mine do voice acting and actually get real voices in the game instead of this crappy text thing. So to wrap it up with new graphics, and I think that a first-person view might actually make this a lot more enjoyable. The third-person view is cool for what it does, but it's not really as haunting as I would like it to be. It's not as immersive. But like a better combat system with more interesting enemies. Well, I already have more interesting enemies that I don't want to show off just yet, and I actually have a much better combat system in a thing called Ghostblade, which was another game that's kind of on the back burner while I figure out which of these two things I want to. Obviously, I've decided I'm going to do the Dark Reef first. But the other thing is, I keep hand-holding the player and trying to explain every single little thing to them. They can figure some stuff out, and also the overall darker color palette really works for a thing called the Dark Reef. So we're going to take a look here at what a first-person version of this might look like. This is very rough. All I did was move the camera and set it so that it's stationary inside the vehicle, and already you've got a very different feeling game. And this is a lot closer to what I would like it to be. And then furthermore, this allows, with the right cockpit, this cockpit is terrible for this, but this will allow me to do things that I wanted to do earlier, like have the grasping arm actually do something useful, be able to inspect things and view them close up, things like that. And you just couldn't do that in the earlier versions. So that's an overview. I hope you like it. Go to thedarkreef.com for more info. I want to stress that the changes you're seeing now are the result of what I've been able to accomplish in my spare time. If I was able to work on this consistently, this game would be amazing in no time at all. That's why I started the Indiegogo campaign. That's why I'm asking for your support in the form of an investment. You'll receive at the very least a copy of the game when it's done. For larger investments, the perks include in-game advertising and custom features designed specifically for you. Please visit the Indiegogo campaign for the Dark Reef and invest in our game. Thank you very much.